I stopped speaking 15 years ago. My family still does not know why. The invitation sits on my kitchen counter like a loaded gun. Gold lettering on cream cardstock, the kind my sister Emma always uses for special occasions. You're invited to celebrate Tyler's 16th birthday, it reads, complete with a photo of a lanky teenager who has my eyes and his father's stubborn chin. My nephew. My son. I trace the edge of the invitation with my finger, the same way I've traced it every morning for the past 3 weeks since it arrived. Emma dropped it off herself, standing on my porch with that familiar mixture of hope and exhaustion that my entire family wears when they look at me now. Please come, Sarah, she'd whispered through the screen door. Tyler keeps asking about you. He wants to know why his aunt never talks to him. His aunt. The word tastes like ash in my mouth, even though I haven't spoken it aloud. Even though I haven't spoken anything aloud since October 15, 2008. 15 years, 2 months, and 6 days of silence. I walk to my bathroom mirror and practice the words I'll say at Tyler's party tomorrow night. My reflection stares back, 32 years old, dark hair that I keep short now, the same green eyes that Tyler inherited. The same eyes that my mother, Patricia, can't meet anymore when she visits every Tuesday at 3 p.m. like clockwork, bringing groceries I don't need and staying exactly 47 minutes before she gives up trying to make me talk. Hello, Tyler, I mouth to my reflection. My name is Sarah, and I'm your mother. The words feel foreign after so many years of silence. My vocal cords might have atrophied from disuse, but my memory is sharp as broken glass. I remember everything about that night in 2008, the way the fluorescent hospital lights made everything look green and sick, how Dr. Martinez kept avoiding my eyes when he told me my baby had died during an emergency C-section. I remember my mother's arms around me as I sobbed, her voice whispering, I'm so sorry, honey. Sometimes these things just happen. I remember believing them. For 3 months, I believed my son was dead. I named him Michael in my head, after my grandfather. I bought a small headstone for the Riverside Cemetery plot my parents said they'd purchased. I went to grief counseling with Dr. Chen every Thursday at 2 p.m. Then I saw Emma at the grocery store on January 8, 2009, carrying a baby that was supposed to be adopted from some teenage mother in Portland. A baby with my exact nose and a birthmark on his left shoulder shaped like a crescent moon, the same birthmark the nurse had pointed out to me in those precious 30 seconds before they rushed him away, claiming he wasn't breathing. I followed them home that day. Watched through Emma's living room window as she changed his diaper, saw the scar from his emergency surgery, the one Michael supposedly died from. I sat in my car for 4 hours, watching my sister raise my son while my parents sat on her couch, playing with their first grandchild. That's when I stopped talking. Tomorrow, Tyler turns 16. Old enough to hear the truth. Old enough to understand what was stolen from both of us. I've spent 15 years planning what I'll say, how I'll say it, when the perfect moment will come. Tomorrow night, in front of 40 family members and friends, I'll finally break my silence. Some secrets are too big for whispers. The doorbell rings at exactly 3:07 p.m., 3 minutes late, which means Mom stopped at the flower shop first. She always brings white carnations when she's feeling guilty about something, and through my front window I can see the telltale tissue paper crumpled in her passenger seat. I don't answer immediately. Instead, I watch Patricia Walsh, respected pediatric nurse for 34 years, pillar of St. Matthew's Episcopal Church, grandmother of the year according to the local newspaper's feature last spring, fumble with her keys and check her reflection in my storm door. She's rehearsing something. Her lips move silently, and she smooths her gray hair twice. When I finally open the door, she's holding a bouquet of white carnations and wearing the navy dress she saves for serious conversations. Hello, sweetheart. She steps inside without waiting for an invitation, muscle memory from 15 years of one-sided visits. I brought your favorite flowers. We both know carnations aren't my favorite. She's thinking of Emma, who loves their ruffled petals and sweet scent. It's a small mistake, but after 15 years of these Tuesday visits, it stings more than it should. Mom settles into the armchair by my bookshelf, the same spot she's claimed every week since 2009. She places the carnations on my coffee table next to a stack of library books about selective mutism that Dr. Rodriguez recommended 3 therapists ago. The irony isn't lost on me. I own 17 books about my supposed condition, and none of them explain the real reason I stopped talking. Tyler's birthday party is tomorrow, she says, arranging the flowers unnecessarily. Emma's been cooking for 3 days. You know how she gets, wants everything perfect for her boy. Her boy. The possessive pronoun slides out so naturally that I almost believe she's forgotten the truth. Almost. She made that chocolate cake he loves, the one with the raspberry filling. And Janet's bringing her famous potato salad, you remember, the one from your graduation party? I remember my graduation party. I also remember Mom promising me that someday I'd have a family of my own to celebrate with. When you're ready, Sarah. When you find the right person and the time is right. Apparently, 17 and terrified didn't qualify as the right time. But 31 and desperate for a baby did, if you were Emma. Patricia called this morning, Mom continues, referring to my aunt whose name she shares. She's driving down from Seattle just for Tyler's party. Can you believe he's 16? Seems like yesterday Emma brought him home from the hospital. The hospital. My hospital. My room 314 where I labored for 19 hours while Mom held my hand and promised everything would be fine. She reaches into her purse and pulls out an envelope, thick cream paper that matches Tyler's invitation. This is for you. For tomorrow night. I take the envelope, already knowing what's inside. Mom has written me a letter every year on Tyler's birthday, trying to explain, trying to justify, trying to make me understand why they gave away my son. 16 letters I've never opened, stored in a shoebox in my closet next to Tyler's hospital bracelet that I stole from Emma's memory book. Sarah, honey, I know you're still angry. I know you blame us for what happened. But Emma and David, they've been such good parents. Tyler's happy. He's healthy. He plays varsity soccer and made honor roll last semester. Isn't that what matters? I stare at the envelope in my hands, this woman's annual attempt at absolution. What she doesn't know is that I drive past Tyler's soccer games every Wednesday after school. I know about his honor roll achievement because I read about it in the local paper. I know he's lactose intolerant and allergic to shellfish because I overheard Emma talking to Dr. Peterson at the pharmacy. I know everything about my son except the sound of his voice saying my name. Tomorrow night, that changes. Mom shifts in her chair, and I notice her hands trembling slightly as she smooths her dress for the third time. The tremor is new. She turned 68 last month, though she started lying about her age to her book club friends. There's something else, she says, her voice dropping to barely above a whisper. Something I need to tell you before tomorrow night. I keep my expression neutral, but my pulse quickens. In 15 years of Tuesday visits, Mom has never deviated from her scripted weather, family updates, and gentle pleading for me to speak. This feels different. Tyler's been asking questions. More pointed ones than usual. She reaches into her purse again, pulling out her reading glasses with shaking fingers. Emma called me last Thursday, crying. Apparently Tyler found some old paperwork in their filing cabinet while looking for his social security card for his driver's permit. My mouth goes dry. I grip the envelope tighter, the cream paper crinkling between my fingers. It was just the adoption documentation from the lawyer, but Tyler's smart. Too smart. He started asking why there was no information about his birth mother, why all the records were sealed so tightly, why Emma gets nervous whenever he asks about his medical history. The irony burns in my chest. Tyler has been trying to find me while I've been watching him from the shadows, learning his schedule, memorizing his face at every soccer game. Emma told him that sometimes teenage mothers want complete privacy, that maybe his birth mother came from a difficult situation and needed a fresh start. Mom's voice cracks on the last words. But you know Tyler. He's stubborn like David. He won't let it go. Like his mother, she almost said. Tyler gets his persistence from me, not David. I was the one who spent 3 hours looking for Mom's lost wedding ring in the sandbox when I was 8. I was the one who reorganized the entire church nursery because the supply closet bothered me. He asked Emma if they could hire a private investigator for his 16th birthday. Can you imagine? Our Tyler, wanting to find some stranger instead of being grateful for the family that raised him. Some stranger. I want to laugh at the bitter irony, but my throat feels lined with sandpaper. Mom leans forward in her chair, and for the first time in years, she looks directly into my eyes instead of somewhere over my shoulder. Sarah, Emma thinks Tyler might try to search on his own soon. She's terrified he'll find incomplete information online, or worse, that he'll contact one of those DNA testing companies. The breath leaves my lungs in a silent rush. I hadn't considered genetic testing. Tyler could upload his DNA profile and potentially match with distant relatives on my father's side. The Welsh family tree is small enough that someone might piece together the connection. Dr. Chen thinks. Mom stops herself. She's let slip that she's been discussing this with my old grief counselor, the one who helped me process my dead baby 15 years ago. I raise an eyebrow, and she has the grace to look ashamed. I've been seeing her again. Since last month when Emma told me about Tyler's questions. Dr. Chen says that sometimes the truth has a way of surfacing on its own, especially when children start looking for answers. The silence stretches between us, heavy with 16 years of lies and 15 years of my stubborn muteness. Outside, Mrs. Rodriguez is walking her elderly beagle past my front window, the same route she takes every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Mom stands up abruptly, gathering her purse with jerky, nervous movements. Just, please think carefully about tomorrow night, sweetheart. Whatever you're planning, whatever you think you need to say or do, remember that Tyler is just a boy. He doesn't deserve to pay for our mistakes. Our mistakes. Finally, something resembling accountability. But she's 16 years too late. After Mom leaves, I sit in my kitchen holding her unopened letter and staring at Tyler's birthday invitation. The house feels suffocating, filled with the lingering scent of carnations and my mother's desperation. I need air. I need to think. I grab my car keys and drive the familiar route to Riverside Cemetery, where Michael's fake headstone stands in plot 47B. It's a simple gray granite marker that reads Beloved Son with dates that span exactly 3 days in October 2008. My parents paid $1,200 for this lie, carved in stone. I park near the maintenance shed and walk the winding path to the children's section. Even after all these years, I can find the plot with my eyes closed. Every month for the first 2 years, I brought fresh daisies and sat cross-legged on the grass, talking to my dead son about everything I'd wanted to share with him. The groundskeeper, Mr. Henley, recognized me eventually. Started nodding when he'd see my car in the parking lot. Sometimes he'd mention how nice it was that someone visited the baby's grave so regularly, how most infant plots got forgotten after a few years. If only he knew. Today the plot is clean, the grass recently trimmed. Someone has left a small American flag near the headstone, probably from the Memorial Day ceremony last week. I kneel and touch the cold granite, reading my son's fake death date for the 100th time. My phone buzzes in my pocket. A text message from my sister Emma. Sarah, I know Mom visited you today. Please come tomorrow night. Tyler specifically asked me to make sure you got an invitation. He wants to meet his aunt properly. His aunt. Tyler has been asking about me. I type and delete 3 different responses before settling on silence, as usual. But I screenshot Emma's message and add it to the folder on my phone labeled Tyler, 147 photos spanning 15 years of secretly documented moments. His first steps in Riverside Park. His elementary school graduation where he won the science fair with a volcano that actually worked. His middle school soccer championship where he scored the winning goal in overtime. A digital diary of the childhood I was robbed of witnessing. Another text comes through, this one from a number I don't recognize. Hi, this is Tyler Walsh. I got your number from Mom's phone. I hope that's okay. I wanted to invite you personally to my party tomorrow. Mom says you don't talk much, but I'd really like to meet you. I've always wondered about my dad's sister. My hands shake as I read the message twice. Dad's sister. Emma and David told Tyler that I'm related to David's side of the family, not Mom's. Another carefully constructed lie to keep him from asking the right questions. But now my son, my living, breathing, 16-year-old son, has my phone number and wants to meet me. I start typing, hello Tyler. I'll be there tomorrow night. Then I delete it. I type, thank you for the invitation. Delete. Finally, I type, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. My finger hovers over the send button for 3 full minutes. 15 years of silence, and here I am considering breaking it via text message to my own child who doesn't know I exist. I delete the message and put my phone away. Tomorrow night, Tyler Walsh will learn that his Aunt Sarah is actually his mother Sarah. That his loving parents are his aunt and uncle. That his grandparents, my parents, stole him from his teenage mother and built 16 years of lies around that theft. Tomorrow night, the truth will destroy everything. But sitting here at Michael's fake grave, reading my son's first words to me, I'm no longer certain that destroying everything is worth destroying Tyler too. The drive home from the cemetery takes me past Lincoln High School, where Tyler's soccer practice should be ending. I tell myself I'm not planning to stop, that I'm just taking the scenic route, but my hands turn the wheel into the visitor parking lot like they have every Wednesday for 3 years. Practice ran late today. Through the chain link fence, I can see Tyler running drills with 2 other players while Coach Morrison packs up orange cones. Tyler's grown at least 3 inches since last fall. He's nearly 6 feet now, all knees and elbows like David was at that age. But his laugh carries across the field, and it's mine. The same snort giggle I used to make that drove my mother crazy during church services. I'm so focused on watching Tyler that I don't notice the tap on my passenger window until it becomes a knock. Emma stands beside my car wearing yoga pants and a worried expression. Her blonde hair is pulled back in a messy bun, and she's holding a Starbucks cup that says M in black marker. She looks exactly like she did in high school, except for the fine lines around her eyes and the way she carries herself now, like someone who's been holding her breath for 16 years. I consider driving away, but she's already walking around to the driver's side, and Tyler has spotted us from the field. He's jogging over, curiosity bright on his face. Emma reaches my window just as Tyler approaches the fence 20 feet away. Sarah, she says through the glass, her voice muffled but audible. We need to talk. Before tomorrow night. Tyler waves at Emma, then looks at me with interest. This is the closest I've been to him since that day at the grocery store when he was 3 months old. I can see his freckles now, scattered across his nose like David's. But his eyes, those are mine. Green with flecks of gold, serious and intelligent. Is that Aunt Sarah? Tyler calls out, dropping his soccer bag and walking closer to the fence. Emma's face goes white. She looks at me with something approaching panic, then back at Tyler. Yes, honey. I just ran into her here. Cool. I texted her earlier but she hasn't responded yet. Tyler grins and waves at me directly. Hi, Aunt Sarah. Thanks for coming to my practice. My throat constricts. He thinks I came here on purpose, to watch him play. In a way, I suppose I did. Emma leans closer to my window, her voice dropping to an urgent whisper. Please. Get out of the car. Let me introduce you properly. He's been asking about you for months. I shake my head, but Tyler is already climbing through a gap in the fence that the players obviously use as a shortcut. In 30 seconds, he'll be standing next to my car, expecting his mute aunt to acknowledge him somehow. Against every instinct, I turn off the engine and open my door. Tyler bounds over like an enthusiastic puppy, all long limbs and genuine excitement. Up close, I can see that he's inherited my stubborn chin along with my eyes. There's a small scar on his left temple that I don't recognize, some childhood accident I wasn't there to kiss better. Wow, you're taller than I expected, Tyler says, grinning. Mom always talks about you like you're still the little sister she had to take care of. Little sister. Emma is 14 months older than me, something she never let me forget growing up. But hearing Tyler refer to our childhood dynamic, as if I'm just Emma's quirky sibling instead of his biological mother, makes my chest tighten with familiar rage. Tyler, Aunt Sarah doesn't, Emma starts. I know, Mom told me about the talking thing. That's okay. I talk enough for 3 people anyway. Tyler launches into an animated recap of practice, describing a play where he scored from 30 yards out, his hands gesturing wildly. I watch my son's face as he talks, memorizing every expression. This is the longest conversation I've never had with Tyler, and it's simultaneously the best and worst moment of the past 15 years. And coach thinks I might get recruited by state if I keep improving my footwork, Tyler continues, bouncing slightly on his toes. Mom says you used to play soccer too, back in high school. Were you any good? Emma's face goes pale. I never played soccer in high school. Emma did, she was team captain senior year and won a partial scholarship to community college. But in the mythology they've created around my identity, they've apparently given me Emma's athletic achievements. She was amazing, Emma says quickly, shooting me a warning look. Really talented. Natural athlete. Tyler's eyes light up with interest. That's so cool. Maybe you could come to one of my games sometime. I mean, if you want to. I know you're not really into crowds and stuff, but... My phone buzzes. Tyler glances down at it automatically, and I see his expression shift from excitement to confusion as he reads the caller ID, Emma, Tyler's mom. But Emma is standing right here. I look down at my phone screen, my heart stopping. The caller ID doesn't say Emma, Tyler's mom. It says Dr. Martinez, Riverside General, and below that, an automated reminder, patient Sarah Walsh annual appointment scheduled for tomorrow, October 15th, 3 p.m. Press 1 to confirm. October 15th. The anniversary of Tyler's birth. The anniversary of the day they told me he died. I've been seeing Dr. Martinez every year on this date for 15 years, a ritual of self-torture disguised as medical care. But Tyler is staring at my phone with a frown, and I realize he can see the reminder notification clearly. My phone's text is set to large font size, and the bright screen shows everything, the doctor's name, the hospital, tomorrow's date. Why do you have an appointment at Riverside General tomorrow? Tyler asks, his voice suddenly serious. That's where I was born. Emma steps closer, her coffee cup shaking in her hand. Sarah, maybe we should. October 15th, Tyler continues, reading from my phone screen. That's my birthday. You have a doctor's appointment on my birthday at the hospital where I was born? The silence stretches between the 3 of us. A lawnmower starts up somewhere in the distance, and the smell of fresh cut grass drifts across the parking lot. Coach Morrison locks up the equipment shed and waves goodbye as he heads to his car, oblivious to the family implosion happening 20 feet away. Tyler looks from my phone to Emma, then back to me. Mom, you said I was born in Portland. At St. Vincent's Hospital. You showed me pictures. Tyler, honey, Emma starts, but he's not listening anymore. You were born in Portland, Emma says firmly. Sometimes people have medical appointments for other reasons. Your Aunt Sarah has been going to Dr. Martinez since. Since when? Tyler interrupts. His voice has dropped an octave, the same way mine does when I'm angry. Since October 15th, 2008? Since the day I was born? Emma drops her coffee cup. It hits the asphalt with a splash of brown liquid and the crack of plastic breaking. Tyler stares at the mess, then at Emma's stricken face, then at me. For the first time in our brief conversation, he's completely still. The excited energy has drained from his posture, replaced by something sharper. More focused. Aunt Sarah, he says quietly, why won't you talk to me? The question hangs in the air like a challenge. Behind Tyler, other cars are leaving the parking lot as practice officially ends. Soon we'll be alone here with 16 years of lies and my phone still glowing with Dr. Martinez's appointment reminder. I look at my son, really look at him, and see intelligence burning in those green eyes. Tyler isn't just asking why I won't speak. He's asking why I'm here, why I have a medical appointment on his birthday, why his mother just went white as paper at a simple question about hospitals. He's starting to put the pieces together. Tomorrow night might be too late. I open my mouth, and for a terrifying moment, I think actual words might come out. Tyler is staring at me with those green eyes, my eyes, waiting for an answer that could shatter his entire world right here in a high school parking lot. Tyler, we should get home, Emma says, her voice pitched higher than normal. Your dad's making dinner, and you still have homework. I finished my calculus in study hall. Tyler doesn't look away from me. Mom, you're acting weird. Weirder than usual. He bends down and picks up Emma's broken coffee cup, examining the cracked plastic with the same focused attention he was giving my phone screen 30 seconds ago. Everything about his posture screams that he's processing information, filing away details that don't add up. Aunt Sarah, do you mind if I ask you something? Tyler straightens up, holding the cup fragments carefully. Even if you can't answer out loud, maybe you could nod or shake your head? Emma makes a small sound of protest, but Tyler ignores her completely. His attention is laser focused on me, and I recognize this expression. It's the same look I used to get when I was solving puzzles as a kid, that stubborn determination to understand how all the pieces fit together. Have we met before today? The question catches me off guard. I expect him to ask about Dr. Martinez or the hospital, but instead Tyler is studying my face like he's trying to place me in a memory. I shake my head no, which is technically true. We've never been formally introduced. Huh. Tyler tilts his head slightly. That's weird, because you look really familiar. Like, really familiar. Mom says I have a good memory for faces. Emma fumbles with her car keys, the metal jangling loudly. Tyler, honey, sometimes people just have one of those faces. No, it's more than that. Tyler steps closer to me, and I can smell his soccer practice sweat mixed with the same strawberry shampoo Emma used when we were teenagers. It's like, do you ever go to Riverside Park? Or maybe Morrison's Grocery on weekend mornings? My heart stops. Morrison's Grocery is where I shop every Saturday at 9 a.m. Riverside Park is where I sit on the bench near the playground and watch him practice bicycle tricks with his friends on Sunday afternoons. Tyler has seen me. Multiple times. He's been noticing me for who knows how long. Sometimes I see this woman there, Tyler continues, his eyes never leaving my face. She's always by herself, and she watches kids playing but never talks to anyone. She has dark hair like yours, and she drives a blue Honda Civic. Emma's key slipped from her hands and hit the ground with a metallic crash. I drive a blue Honda Civic, the same car I've had since college. The same car that's parked 50 feet away where Tyler can see it clearly. Tyler, that could be anyone, Emma's voice cracks mid-sentence. License plate RTH 4429, Tyler says quietly, reading the numbers from my rear bumper. Same car I've been seeing for years. The silence that follows feels like the moment before a building collapses, when the supports have given way but gravity hasn't quite taken hold yet. Tyler looks from my license plate to my face, then to Emma's panicked expression. You've been watching me, he says, not accusingly but with genuine curiosity. 4 years. Why? Behind us, Coach Morrison's car starts up in the distance. The parking lot is almost empty now except for us and the weight of 16 years of lies. My phone buzzes again, another reminder about tomorrow's appointment with Dr. Martinez, the same doctor who delivered Tyler and told me he had died. Tyler glances at my phone, then back at me. Dr. Martinez has been your doctor since October 15th, 2008. The day I was born at Riverside General, not St. Vincent's in Portland. It's not a question. Emma makes a choking sound, somewhere between a sob and a gasp. Tyler, please, we need to go home and talk to your father. No. Tyler's voice is firm, more adult than 16-year-old. I want to talk to Aunt Sarah first. I want to know why she's been watching me, and why she has appointments with my birth doctor, and why Mom looks like she's about to throw up. He turns to face me fully, and I see David's stubborn chin combined with my own relentless need for truth. I want to know why you stopped talking 15 years ago, right after I was born. The words hit like physical blows. Tyler has connected the timeline, my silence beginning when he was born, my annual appointments with his delivery doctor, my years of watching him from a distance. He's standing there in his grass-stained soccer uniform, 16 years old and methodically dismantling the lie that's held his world together. Emma is crying now, silent tears streaming down her face as she stares at her phone screen. She's texting someone frantically, probably David, warning him that their carefully constructed story is crumbling in a high school parking lot. Tyler, I whisper, the word scraping against my vocal cords like sandpaper. Both Tyler and Emma freeze. It's the first word I've spoken aloud in 5,479 days, and it sounds foreign even to my own ears. Tyler's name, spoken in my voice for the first time since I whispered it to his newborn face before they took him away. Tyler's eyes widen. You can talk. I can talk, I confirm, my voice gaining strength. I just chose not to. Why? His question is simple, but the answer could destroy everything. Emma steps between us, her maternal instincts finally overriding her panic. Sarah, don't. Please. Not like this. Not here. Not like what? Tyler moves around Emma to face me directly. What's going on? Why is everyone acting like the world is ending? My phone buzzes again. This time it's a text from Mom. Emma called me crying. Whatever you're planning for tomorrow night, Tyler's already asking questions. Please reconsider. Think about what this will do to him. Tyler catches me reading the message. What were you planning for tomorrow night? For my birthday party? The question hangs between us as another car pulls into the parking lot. Through my rearview mirror, I see David's black truck speeding toward us, taking the corners too fast. Emma must have told him to come immediately. Tyler, your dad's here, Emma says with obvious relief. We should all go home and discuss this as a family. What family? Tyler interrupts, his voice sharp. The family that's been lying to me about where I was born? The family that told me my biological parents were some random teenagers from Portland when apparently my aunt has been seeing my birth doctor for 16 years? David's truck screeches into the parking space next to mine. He jumps out, still wearing his construction clothes, hard hat tucked under his arm. His face is flushed, and there's sawdust in his brown hair. Tyler, get in the truck, David says immediately, not even looking at me. Emma, we're going home. Now. Dad, wait. Tyler stands his ground, and I see my own stubbornness reflected in his posture. Aunt Sarah was just about to explain why she's been watching me for years. And why she stopped talking the day I was born. David's face goes pale beneath his construction tan. He looks at me directly for the first time in 15 years, and I see fear in his eyes. Not anger, fear. Sarah, David says carefully, whatever you think you're doing, Tyler doesn't deserve to pay for it. Pay for what? Tyler's voice rises with frustration. Will someone please tell me what's going on? The October sun is setting behind the school building, casting long shadows across the parking lot. In an hour, this will be over. In an hour, Tyler will know the truth, and the Walsh family will never be the same. But looking at my son's face, confused, angry, desperate for honesty, I realize I can't wait until tomorrow night. I can't let him sit through one more family dinner built on lies, can't watch him blow out candles on a birthday cake while pretending to be his aunt. Tyler, I say, my voice stronger now, there's something you need to know about the day you were born. David lunges forward and grabs Tyler's arm. We're leaving. Right now. Dad, let go of me. Tyler jerks away, and I see a flash of real anger cross his face. I'm 16, not 6. I can handle whatever this is. No, you can't, Emma whispers, fresh tears streaming down her cheeks. Tyler, baby, some things are too complicated. Stop treating me like I'm stupid. Tyler's voice echoes across the empty parking lot. I know something's wrong. I've known for months. All those hushed phone calls between you and Grandma Patricia. The way you and Dad get weird whenever I ask about my birth parents. And now I find out Aunt Sarah has been seeing my birth doctor every year since I was born? He turns back to me, his green eyes blazing with determination. You were going to tell me something about the day I was born. What was it? David steps between us, his jaw clenched tight. Sarah, I'm begging you. Don't do this to him. Not like this. Do what to me? Tyler shoves past his father, frustration radiating from every inch of his lanky frame. What could possibly be so terrible that all three of you look like you're about to have heart attacks? My phone rings suddenly, the sound sharp and jarring in the tense silence. Dr. Martinez's office again. I decline the call, but Tyler notices the name on the screen. That's him, isn't it? The doctor who delivered me. Tyler's voice drops to barely above a whisper. Why does he keep calling you? The truth sits in my throat like a stone. 16 years of lies, condensed into one impossible moment in a high school parking lot. I look at Tyler, really look at him, and see myself at his age. The stubborn set of his jaw when he wanted answers. The way his eyes narrow when he's thinking hard about a problem. Tyler, I say slowly, Dr. Martinez calls me every year because he was there the night you were born. He was there when they told me. Sarah, no. Emma's voice cracks like a whip. When they told me you had died. The words hang in the air like smoke. Tyler's face goes completely blank, processing what I just said. Behind him, David makes a sound like he's been punched in the stomach. What do you mean, died? Tyler's voice is very quiet now, very controlled. I'm standing right here. I didn't die. No, I say, my voice gaining strength with each word. You didn't die. But they told me you did. For 3 months, I believed my baby was dead. Tyler stares at me, his teenage brain working through the implications. I watch the moment when understanding hits him, his face goes white, then red, then white again. Your baby, he repeats slowly. You said your baby. Emma is openly sobbing now, clutching David's arm like it's the only thing keeping her upright. David's mouth opens and closes, but no sound comes out. Tyler, I whisper, I'm not your aunt. The silence that follows is deafening. Tyler looks from me to Emma to David, his expression cycling through confusion, disbelief, and finally, terrible understanding. You're my mother, he says, the words barely audible. I nod, tears streaming down my face for the first time in 15 years. Tyler takes a step backward, then another, like I'm something dangerous he needs to distance himself from. That means, he looks at Emma and David with something approaching horror. That means you're not my parents. You're my aunt and uncle. Emma reaches for him, but Tyler flinches away from her touch. How long? His voice is shaking now. How long have you all known? David finally finds his voice. Tyler, son, we can explain. Don't call me son. Tyler explodes, his composure finally cracking. Apparently, I'm not your son at all. The words hit David like a physical blow. His face crumples, and for a moment he looks every one of his 43 years. Tyler, you are my son. In every way that matters, you're my son. I taught you to ride a bike. I coached your little league team. I was there for every scraped knee, every nightmare. But you weren't there the day I was born, Tyler says, his voice deadly quiet. Because you already knew I existed. You knew Sarah was pregnant, and you knew they were going to give me to you. The accusation hangs between us like a blade. I watch David's face cycle through emotions, guilt, panic, desperate love for the boy he's raised. It wasn't like that, David says desperately. We thought Emma couldn't have children, and your grandmother said. My grandmother. Tyler's laugh is harsh, bitter. You mean my actual grandmother, who helped steal me from my actual mother? Emma steps forward, mascara streaking down her cheeks. Tyler, please. We love you so much. Everything we did was because we wanted to give you the best life possible. By lying to me every single day for 16 years? Tyler's voice cracks on the last word. By making me think my mother was some random teenager who didn't want me? I flinch at that. Tyler, I wanted you. I never stopped wanting you. He whirls to face me, and the pain in his green eyes, my eyes, is devastating. Then why didn't you fight for me? Why didn't you tell someone? Why did you just disappear? The question I've been dreading for 15 years. The one that makes me complicit in my own tragedy. I was 17, I whisper. Scared. Alone. They told me you were dead, Tyler. They had a death certificate. A funeral plot. I had no reason to doubt. But you found out, he interrupts, his teenage mind sharp as a scalpel. You found out I was alive, and you still didn't say anything. You still didn't fight for me. My phone buzzes again. Another text from Mom, David called. He says Tyler knows. Sarah, please don't make this worse. Come to the house. We need to talk as a family. Tyler sees me reading and laughs bitterly. Let me guess. Grandma Patricia wants a family meeting. To figure out how to clean up this mess? Another car pulls into the parking lot, Mom's silver Camry driving too fast, taking the corner by the gym with a screech of tires. Through the windshield, I can see her panicked expression and Dad in the passenger seat, both of them looking older than their 68 years. Great, Tyler says, watching his grandparents' frantic approach. The whole conspiracy is here. Mom's car door slams as she rushes toward us, Dad trailing behind with his cane. She's still wearing the navy dress from our Tuesday visit, but now it's wrinkled and her carefully styled hair is messed from running her hands through it. Tyler, sweetheart, Mom calls out, breathless. We can explain everything. There are reasons. Stop. Tyler holds up his hand like a traffic cop. Just stop talking. All of you. He pulls out his phone and starts typing furiously. Emma reaches for it instinctively, the maternal reflex to monitor and protect, but Tyler steps back. I'm texting my friends, he says, his voice eerily calm now. Telling them my birthday party is cancelled. Because apparently everything about my life is a lie, and I need to figure out who I actually am before I can celebrate anything. Tyler, you don't have to cancel, Emma starts. Yes, I do. He looks around at all 5 adults surrounding him, and something in his expression makes my chest ache. Because I can't look at any of you right now without wondering what else you've been lying about. Dad finally reaches us, leaning heavily on his cane. Tyler, your grandmother, and we thought we were doing what was best for everyone. Sarah was so young, and Emma and David wanted a baby so desperately. So you played God, Tyler says quietly. You decided who deserved to be parents and who didn't. You faked my death and stole me from my mother. The word stole lands like a physical blow among the assembled adults. Because that's exactly what they did, and hearing Tyler name it so plainly strips away every rationalization they'd built over 16 years. Tyler looks directly at me, and I see something that terrifies me more than his anger, disappointment. You know what the worst part is, he says. You've all been watching me grow up, knowing the truth, and none of you thought I deserved to know who I really was. Tyler's words hit me like a physical blow, but before I can respond, my phone rings again. This time it's not Dr. Martinez, it's a number I don't recognize with a 503 area code. Portland. I decline the call, but Tyler notices the unfamiliar number. Who was that? I don't know, I answer truthfully, but my phone immediately buzzes with a voicemail notification. Emma steps closer, her face pale. Sarah, maybe we should. Put it on speaker, Tyler says, his voice sharp with command. If we're done with lies, then no more secrets. My hands shake as I dial voicemail and select speaker. The voice that fills the parking lot is professional, female, unfamiliar. This message is for Sarah Walsh. My name is Jennifer Chin, and I'm a private investigator hired by my client to locate biological family members. I understand this may come as a shock, but I've been hired to find the birth mother of Tyler Walsh, born October 15, 2008 at Riverside General Hospital. Please call me back at your earliest convenience. The silence that follows is deafening. Tyler stares at my phone like it's a bomb that just went off. Someone hired a private investigator, he whispers. Someone else is looking for the connection between us. Emma makes a choking sound. Tyler, you said you wanted to hire one for your birthday. You said you were curious about your birth mother. Did you? I never actually hired anyone, Tyler says slowly, his face cycling through confusion and growing realization. I just talked about it. But who else would? Dad's cane slips from his grip and clatters on the asphalt. Mom catches his arm as he sways, his weathered face going gray. Dad? Emma rushes to his side. Are you okay? But I'm watching Tyler, seeing the exact moment when the final piece clicks into place. Grandpa Jim, Tyler says quietly. You told Grandpa Jim about wanting to find my birth mother, didn't you, Mom? At Sunday dinner 3 weeks ago when he asked about my driver's permit? Dad's silence is answer enough. Oh God, Emma breathes. Dad, you didn't. Jim's been asking questions for months, Dad admits, his voice barely audible. After Tyler started talking about genetic testing and private investigators, Jim said maybe it was time for the truth. He said keeping secrets from Tyler wasn't fair to anyone. I'd barely spoken to Dad's father in 15 years. Jim Walsh is 82, a retired police detective who still thinks like a cop. If he hired a private investigator, it wasn't just curiosity, it was because he suspected something was wrong with our family story. How much does Grandpa Jim know? Tyler asks, his voice deadly calm. Everything, Dad whispers. He's known since the beginning. He tried to talk us out of it back then, said no good would come from lying to you. Tyler laughs, but there's no humor in it. So my great-grandfather, who I see every other Sunday for family dinner, has been watching me grow up knowing I was living a lie. And now he's the one trying to expose it. My phone rings again. The same 503 number. Answer it, Tyler says. I want to hear what else Grandpa Jim told this investigator. I accept the call and put it on speaker. Hello? Ms. Walsh? This is Jennifer Chin. Thank you for taking my call. I need to ask you some questions about October 15th, 2008. Tyler steps closer to the phone, his face intense with concentration. I understand you gave birth that night at Riverside General Hospital, the investigator continues. My client believes there may have been irregularities with the adoption documentation filed in this case. Emma grabs David's arm so hard he winces. Sarah, hang up. Please. But Tyler shakes his head at me. What kind of irregularities? I hear papers rustling on the other end of the line. Ms. Walsh, are you aware that no adoption paperwork was ever filed with the state of Oregon for your son? The parking lot spins around me. What do you mean? There are no legal records of Tyler Walsh being adopted. According to state documentation, Emma and David Walsh are listed as his biological parents on his amended birth certificate. The original certificate listing you as his mother was sealed, but there's no corresponding adoption decree. That's impossible, Emma says, her voice cracking. We have paperwork. Legal documents. Ma'am, are you Emma Walsh? Emma looks at Tyler, then at me, panic written across her face. Yes. Mrs. Walsh, I believe you may have been given fraudulent documents. My investigation suggests that Tyler was never legally adopted, he was simply transferred to your custody through falsified medical and legal records. Tyler's face goes white. What does that mean? It means, the investigator says gently, that legally speaking, Sarah Walsh is still your mother. And what happened 16 years ago wasn't an adoption, it was kidnapping. The word kidnapping hangs in the air like a death sentence. Tyler stumbles backward, his face cycling through disbelief, horror, and something approaching rage. Kidnapping, he repeats, his voice hollow. You didn't adopt me. You kidnapped me. Emma collapses against David's truck, her legs giving out. No, that's not, we had lawyers. Dr. Martinez arranged everything. It was all legal. Apparently not, the investigator's voice cuts through Emma's protests. Ms. Walsh, I need to ask, did you ever sign adoption papers? Did you consent to giving up parental rights? My throat feels lined with broken glass. I never signed anything. They told me my baby died during delivery. Jesus Christ, David breathes, running his hands through his hair. We didn't know. The lawyer said, Martinez said everything was handled properly. What lawyer? Tyler demands, his composure cracking. What was his name? Mom finally speaks up, her voice barely a whisper. Richard Henley. He was Dr. Martinez's brother-in-law. He handled all the paperwork. Tyler pulls out his phone and starts typing frantically. After 30 seconds, he looks up with wild eyes. Richard Henley was disbarred in 2012 for falsifying adoption records. There's a whole news article about it. He went to prison for 18 months. Emma makes us sound like a wounded animal. We didn't know. Tyler, baby, we had no idea the documents weren't real. Stop calling me baby. Tyler explodes, his carefully maintained control finally shattering. You're not my mother. She is. He points at me with a shaking finger. She's my mother, and you stole me from her with fake papers. The investigator's voice cuts through Tyler's breakdown. I'm going to need to speak with everyone involved in person. This is now potentially a criminal matter involving fraud, falsification of documents, and yes, kidnapping. I'm legally obligated to report this to the authorities. No, Tyler says quickly. Wait. Don't call anyone yet. Tyler, I say carefully, if crimes were committed. I know. He spins to face me, tears streaming down his cheeks. But if she calls the police right now, everything gets 10 times worse. There'll be investigations and court cases and reporters, and by tomorrow morning everyone at school will know my entire life is a lie. He's right. The investigator's words have changed everything. This isn't just family drama anymore, it's potential criminal conspiracy spanning 16 years. Dad leans heavily against Mom, his face gray with shock. We need to call Tom Bradshaw, he says weakly, referring to the family lawyer. This is beyond, we need legal representation. For what? Tyler's laugh is bitter. To help cover up more crimes? To protect you, Dad insists. Tyler, whatever else happened, you're the innocent one here. Any lawyer worth his salt will make sure you're protected. Tyler looks around at all of us, the adults who shaped his entire existence through lies and forged documents. Protected from what? From learning the truth about who I am? My phone buzzes with a text from Grandpa Jim. Jennifer Chin says she spoke with you. Time to end this charade. Tyler deserves better than the foundation of lies we built his life on. Tyler reads the message over my shoulder. At least someone in this family believes I deserve honesty. Another text comes through, this one from Dr. Martinez. Sarah, I just received a call from a private investigator. We need to talk immediately. There are things about that night you don't know. Things about what Richard made me do. Emma sees the message and goes pale. What does that mean? What else don't we know? The October sun has set completely now, and the parking lot is lit only by distant streetlights and the glow from our phones. In the growing darkness, my fractured family looks like survivors of some terrible accident, standing among the wreckage of 16 years of carefully constructed lies. There's more, Tyler says quietly, reading Dr. Martinez's message. There's something else they haven't told us. Tyler stares at Dr. Martinez's text message, his face cycling through emotions I can barely track. What else? His voice is flat, emotionless in that dangerous way that reminds me of myself at 17. What else haven't you told me? Before I can respond, my phone rings again. Dr. Martinez this time, not his office. I look at Tyler, and he nods grimly. I answer on speaker. Sarah, Dr. Martinez's voice is strained, older than I remember. I just got off the phone with that investigator. She's asking questions about Richard Henley, about the paperwork from that night. There are things I should have told you years ago. Emma steps closer, her face pale in the streetlight. Dr. Martinez, this is Emma Walsh. What things? A long pause. Mrs. Walsh, I'm going to need all of you to come to my office tonight. What I have to tell you can't be discussed over the phone. It's almost 8 p.m., David says, checking his watch. Your office is closed. I'm here now. I've been here since that investigator called this afternoon, going through files I should have destroyed years ago. Dr. Martinez's voice cracks slightly. Files Richard made me keep, for insurance, he said. Tyler grabs my phone. Dr. Martinez, this is Tyler. Tyler Walsh. Will you please just tell us what you're talking about? I can't take any more secrets tonight. Tyler. The doctor's voice softens. I delivered you, son. I held you when you took your first breath. And I've regretted what happened that night every day since. What happened? Tyler's voice is barely above a whisper. Your mother, Sarah, wasn't supposed to be unconscious when you were born. The emergency C-section was real, but the complications afterward. Richard drugged her while I was cleaning you up. Kept her sedated for 6 hours while he arranged everything with your grandparents. My legs give out. I sit down hard on the curb, the asphalt cold against my jeans. You drugged me? Richard did. He said it would be easier if you slept through the transition, that you'd wake up and we'd tell you the baby died, and by the time you were clear-headed enough to ask questions, everything would be finalized. Emma makes a choking sound. But the death certificate. Fake. Richard had connections in the records office. He made it look official, temporary until the real one could be processed. Then he just never filed a real one. Tyler's hands are shaking as he takes the phone back. So my mom was drugged unconscious while you stole me? Tyler, I know how this sounds, but your grandparents were desperate. They said Sarah was too young, that she had no support system, that Emma and David could provide things Sarah couldn't. That wasn't their choice to make. Tyler's voice echoes across the empty parking lot. That was my mom's choice. Dad finally speaks up, his voice broken. We thought we were saving you, Tyler. Sarah was 17, unmarried, scared. So you drugged her and stole her baby? Tyler whirls on his grandfather. What gave you the right? The father, Mom says suddenly, so quietly we almost miss it. We were trying to protect you from the father. Tyler freezes. What about my father? Emma and David exchange a look that makes my stomach clench. There's something else. Something they haven't told him about his biological father. Tyler, Emma says carefully, there are some circumstances about your conception that... Oh God, I breathe, suddenly understanding. The hushed conversations I overheard between my parents in those first few days after Tyler was born. The way they couldn't meet my eyes when I asked about seeing Michael's father, about calling him. Tyler looks between all of us, reading our faces. What circumstances? Who is my father? Through the phone, Dr. Martinez sighs heavily. Tyler, that's part of what your grandparents were trying to protect you from. The man who, the biological father, he was much older than Sarah. There were questions about consent. Questions about consent, Tyler repeats slowly. You mean? I mean your biological father was 26 years old when Sarah was 17. And there were circumstances that made the relationship questionable at best. My phone screen shows 8:47 p.m. In 12 hours and 13 minutes, Tyler was supposed to be blowing out candles at his 16th birthday party, surrounded by friends and the family he thought he knew. Instead, he's standing in a dark parking lot learning that his entire existence began with assault and was perpetuated through drugging, fraud, and kidnapping. I want to know his name, Tyler says, his voice deadly calm. Tyler, that's not, Emma starts. His name. Tyler's voice cuts through her protest like a blade. I've learned tonight that my aunt is my mother, my parents are my kidnappers, my birth was covered up with drugs and fake documents, and now you're telling me I was conceived through assault. I want to know my biological father's name. Dr. Martinez clears his throat. Tyler, son, maybe this should wait. Nothing should wait anymore. Tyler explodes. I'm 16 years old, and I just found out every single day of my life has been built on lies. Stop trying to protect me and tell me the truth. The silence stretches between all of us. Finally, Mom speaks, her voice barely audible. Marcus Webb. His name was Marcus Webb. He was Sarah's boss at the restaurant where she worked that summer. Tyler pulls out his phone and starts typing immediately. Marcus Webb, he mutters, fingers flying over the screen. 26 in 2008, so he'd be 41 now. After a moment, Tyler's face goes white. Oh my God. Mom, is this him? He shows Emma his phone screen, and she nods miserably. Tyler, what did you find? I ask, though I'm terrified of the answer. Tyler turns his phone toward me, and I see a recent newspaper article with Marcus Webb's photo. The headline reads, Local restaurant owner sentenced to 15 years for sexual assault of minor employees. He's in prison, Tyler whispers. My biological father is in prison for assaulting teenage girls who worked for him. The newspaper article's date stamp shows Marcus Webb was sentenced just 3 months ago. Tyler stares at the screen, his face cycling through emotions I can barely track, disgust, anger, and something that looks like relief. So that's why, he says quietly. That's why you all thought kidnapping me was justified. Because my father is a predator. Tyler, it wasn't kidnapping, Emma says desperately. We thought it was legal adoption. We thought we were giving you a safe home. With fake papers, Tyler interrupts, his voice sharp. Dr. Martinez just admitted you drugged my mother unconscious and falsified documents. What would you call that? Through the phone, Dr. Martinez clears his throat. There's something else, Tyler. Something about that night that you need to understand. My hands start shaking. More secrets. After 16 years, how many more bombs are waiting to explode? Sarah, Dr. Martinez continues, when you went into labor, Marcus Webb showed up at the hospital. He was drunk, claiming parental rights, demanding to see the baby. Hospital security had to escort him out. The memory hits me like ice water. I remember shouting in the hallway, male voices arguing with the nurses. I thought it was just typical hospital chaos, but it was Marcus. Coming to claim Tyler. He came back twice that night, Dr. Martinez says. The second time he had some kind of legal document, fake, we found out later, saying he was the father and demanding custody. That's when Richard convinced your parents to act immediately. Dad's voice is shaky when he speaks. We couldn't let that man take Tyler. Sarah was unconscious from the surgery, and he was threatening to lawyer up, claiming his rights as a biological father. So you made the decision for her, Tyler says flatly. Instead of waiting for my mother to wake up so she could decide what to do, you drugged her longer and stole me. We protected you, Mom insists, tears streaming down her face. Marcus Webb would have destroyed your life. Look what he did to those other girls. What he did to my mother, Tyler corrects, his voice cracking. What he did to my 17-year-old mother while she was working to save money for college. The weight of that truth settles over all of us. Tyler wasn't just taken from me, he was the product of assault, conceived in violence, and then stolen through more violence done to me while I was unconscious and vulnerable. How many girls? Tyler asks suddenly, looking back at his phone screen. How many girls did he assault? Tyler, you don't need to know, Emma starts. How many? His voice is steel. I lean over to read the article on his phone. 7, I whisper. 7 girls between 2007 and 2019. All restaurant employees. All between 16 and 18 years old. Tyler's face goes very still. You were his first victim. And I'm the only child that resulted from his assaults. The math is brutal and inescapable. I was Marcus Webb's first victim, and Tyler carries that legacy in his DNA while having no responsibility for it. Dr. Martinez speaks again through the phone. Tyler, I need you to understand something. What your grandparents did was legally wrong, but Marcus Webb was a genuine threat. The investigator who called me today confirmed he's been trying to contact biological children of his victims from prison. He knows about you. Tyler's phone slips from his hands and clatters on the asphalt. He knows about me? He's been writing letters to the hospital, trying to get information about any children born to his victims. Richard's fake death certificate is the only thing that's kept him from finding you. Emma grabs Tyler's shoulders. Baby, this is exactly why we had to protect you. This man has been hunting for you for 16 years. Tyler shrugs out of her grip, but for the first time tonight, he doesn't correct her use of baby. The revelation about Marcus Webb has shifted something in his understanding of what happened that night. So tomorrow, Tyler says slowly, when Jennifer Chin files her report and the police start investigating the fake adoption, Marcus Webb will find out I'm alive. The silence that follows is deafening. The truth hangs between us like a loaded gun. Tyler stands in the circle of adults who shaped his life through lies, processing the weight of everything he's learned. In the distance, a church bell chimes 9 times, marking another hour in the longest day of our lives. So here's what we're going to do, Tyler says finally, his voice carrying an authority that reminds me painfully of myself at his age. We're going to Jennifer Chen's office tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. All of us. Emma starts to protest, but Tyler holds up his hand. I'm going to tell her that I want the investigation to continue, but I want it sealed by the court until I turn 18. I want Marcus Webb to keep believing I'm dead until I'm old enough to decide how to handle him myself. Dad nods slowly. The family court can issue protective orders. And I want everyone who participated in the fraud to come clean, Tyler continues, looking directly at Mom. Dr. Martinez, Grandpa Jim, all of you. Full disclosure to the authorities, but with a request for suspended sentences based on the circumstances with Marcus Webb. David runs his hands through his hair. Tyler, that could mean criminal charges. Good, Tyler says firmly. What you did was criminal. But I also understand why you did it, and I'm not interested in watching my family go to prison while Marcus Webb sits in his cell knowing he has a son out there. Tyler picks up his phone from the asphalt and scrolls back to Marcus Webb's article. Besides, according to this, he's got 7 more years minimum on his sentence. By the time he gets out, I'll be 23 and capable of handling whatever he tries to do. Through my phone, Dr. Martinez clears his throat. Tyler, that's actually very mature reasoning. I think the district attorney would be willing to work with us on a plea arrangement, especially given the circumstances. Tyler nods, then turns to face me directly. For the first time all evening, his expression softens slightly. Sarah, he says, and hearing my name in his voice makes my chest tight with 15 years of grief. I want to get to know you. My actual mother. But I also want to keep living with Emma and David until I graduate high school. Emma's face crumples with relief, but Tyler isn't finished. They're not my legal parents, but they are the people who raised me. David taught me to drive stick shift in his pickup truck. Emma made my lunch every day for 10 years and never once complained when I refused to eat the crusts on my sandwiches. He looks around at all of us, this boy who inherited my stubbornness and my need for truth, but somehow managed to grow up kinder than I ever was. But I want Sunday dinners with my actual mother, Tyler continues, looking at me. And I want the truth about everything from now on. No more protective lies, no more family meetings where you discuss what I can handle. I want to be part of this family as myself, not as the kid you all conspired to save. I find my voice for what feels like the 100th time tonight. Tyler, I've missed 16 years of your life. I don't know if Sunday dinners can make up for that. They can't, he agrees simply. But they're a start. Tyler walks over to Emma and hugs her tightly, this woman who raised him with love built on a foundation of lies. Mom, you're still my mom. But now I have 2 mothers, and that's going to have to be okay. Then he surprises me by walking over and hugging me too, awkward, brief, but real. He smells like grass stains and teenage boy deodorant, and for just a moment, I let myself imagine what the last 16 years could have been like. Tomorrow morning, Tyler says, stepping back. Jennifer Chen's office. We tell the truth, we face the consequences, and we figure out how to be a family that doesn't need lies to stay together. As we finally leave the parking lot in our separate cars, I realize Tyler just did something I couldn't do for 15 years. He chose healing over revenge, truth over silence, and love over the comfortable destruction of staying angry forever. My son is wiser than I ever was.